Hey guys, you're welcome back to another beautiful tutorial with me. My name is Mimi. If you're stopping for the first time, you're highly welcome. Hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell. So in this particular video, I'll be sharing with you guys how to go about cutting and sewing your overlapped collar top with a buckle in front. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, please keep on watching and let's get started. So guys, for today's tutorial, I'll be making use of this check material here, and this, I don't know what to call it, but I can as well call it a buckle. And then I will also make use of this, my pattern here, my back pattern. I already went ahead to draft out. So the next thing I went ahead to do was to use my back pattern to cut on my actual fabric, and as you can see, it's on a fold. So after I was done with that, I will also place it on a plain fabric like this to cut for the front piece. Now the next thing I will do is to place my tape like this and mark out 10 inches. You can decide to use 6, you can decide to use 5, but for me I'll use 10. I think 10 is okay for most people. And then for the neck here, I'll just come here on the shoulder and make a mark like this, and then I'll use my rule to connect a very slant line like this to meet the 10 inches mark I made at the bottom part of it. Just watch closely what I'm doing. Go ahead and connect yours like this to meet that mark we made at the lower part of it. You can as well do this with your free hand. I'll just go ahead and trace it out so you could see what I mean. And then after I was done with this, I'll just go ahead and cut out. Just watch closely to see the area I am cutting out. Just go ahead and cut out like this the armhole area, and then the shoulder. Then when I get to this point, I will take off my front piece, or my back piece rather, and then continue following this line on my material like this. And so after I was done cutting, this is what I have. Here is what I have. So I'll also go ahead and slit the bottom part of it. And so after slitting, here is the outcome. So here is the back piece and the front piece. I'll go ahead and open it up like this, and as you can see, it is already overlapping, but in this particular tutorial, in this particular dress, we'll be using a buckle in front instead of just overlapping it like that. So the next thing I will go ahead to do will be to bring my back piece and my front piece like this. So I'll just go ahead and join the shoulders like this. Just go ahead and join the shoulders for the two of them. So after I was done joining the shoulders, this is what I have. The next thing I will do is to take my tape and measure 3 inches from my front piece, the shoulder like this, come down by 3 inches and make a mark there. And then I will also repeat the same thing for the other side. Place your tape and take 3 inches downward like this and make a mark. This is where our collar will be starting from. So the next thing I will do is take my tape and measure from that point to the other point. Whatever we have is what we'll be using to cut our collar. So for me, I have exactly 15 inches. This is it. Just measure around to meet the other mark. As you can see, for me, I have 15 inches. So I'll be using this 15 inches to cut my collar. So the next thing I went ahead to do was to bring my pattern paper, a plain pattern paper, and then divide 15 inches into 2, and I have 7.5. Go ahead and make a point there with 7.5. And then the next thing I went ahead to do was to determine the width of my collar. For me, I am using 3 inches. I'll just go ahead and connect, make a straight line like this. Go ahead and connect yours like this. And then after connecting, I will also repeat the same 7.5 on top of this line, just like this, and add extra 1 inches allowance to it, meaning that the one on top here, the measurement on top here will be bigger than the one on the lower part. This is what I mean. Go ahead and add 1 inches allowance, and then make a slant line to meet the other point, like this. And then after I was done with that, I will also come to this bottom part of it, and then I will go in by 0.5, and then I'll go ahead and connect it to meet this other point here. And so after I was done, I'll just go ahead and cut it out like this. So after cutting, this is what we have for our collar. I will use this to cut on our actual fabric. So as you can see, I went ahead to cut out two pieces. One will be serving as our lining piece. So place them together like this, right side facing each other, and I'll be sewing from the top down to this bottom, but I'll be leaving at least ½ inch at this bottom area. I'll just go ahead and sew. So this is what I have after sewing, and remember to leave about 0.5 inches here. So go ahead and turn it like this, and then after turning, you can use your scissors or whatever to push out this edge, just like this. And so after I was done with this, I went ahead to also bring my actual fabric, just like this, put them together and make a notch at the back piece of it. Go ahead and also bring your collar, put them together like this, and make a notch at the center, just the same way you see me do. Put them together like this and make your notch. And so this is what I have. So after that, bring the actual fabric, the cloth now, open it up like this, bring your collar and make sure you place them like this, match them together, and then you're going to sew round till you get to where we have the 3 inches point we made. This is what I mean on my sewing machine. Place them together like this and sew. I'm using 0.5 inches to do my stitch. So this is what I mean. Place them like this and run your stitch. So I'll keep sewing till I get to meet the 3 inches dot we made in front of our piece. Go ahead and sew. So when I get to this point, I will also repeat the same thing to the other side. Go ahead and do yours. I'll keep sewing till I meet also this other end, this other side, the area we marked. As you can see, this is the mark here. So keep sewing until you get to that area, to that point, just like this. So after I was done, this is what I have. So the next thing I went ahead to do was to fold my front piece, because we'll be tying this in front, so we need this edge to be very neat. So go ahead and fold it like this and run your stitch. So I did same also to the other side, and after I was done, remember the 0.5 inches we left on our collar. Go ahead and fold it in like this and run your stitch on top of this. Make sure these lines are not showing. So in other words, you're going to run your stitch on top of the one you're seeing under. Just watch closely to see what I am doing. Go ahead and keep running like this till you get to the other end. So I'll keep running my stitch till I meet the other end of my collar. So when I get to this end, I will also flip in this little piece here, just like this, and I'll finish it up. And so after I was done, this is what I have. And you can see our top is taking shape already. So the next thing I will go over to do now is to bring my sleeve pattern. As you can see, I have my pattern drafted already. And I went ahead to take my 4 inches to my band to be 4 inches rather. So I'll go ahead and cut it off like this. After cutting it off, I'll do what we call a slash and spread method on this sleeve because we don't want the sleeve to be a pencil sleeve. So I'll just go ahead and slash my sleeves like this. You can use any measurement of your choice. Go ahead and slash it like this to the end of your pattern. So after I was done slashing, this is what I have. The next thing I will go over to do is to use my scissors to cut like this till I get to the end of my sleeves, but I will not cut completely. So just watch closely to see. Just go ahead and cut yours like this till you get to the end of your pattern, but don't cut till the end. So after I was done with that, I went ahead to place it on another plain paper and cut what I have, and I also duplicated that on my actual fabric. So the next thing I'll go over to do now is to open my sleeves like this, and I will run a gather stitch at the end. After that, I will also attach my band. And so after I was done, this is what I have, and you can see how beautiful our sleeve is looking. Just take a good look at this. And so after I was done, I also went ahead to finish up the hem part of it. So I'll bring in my buckle now and I will flip it in like this. You can equally decide to tie this, but for this tutorial we're making use of this. Go ahead and flip yours in like this, and then that's all. And you can see how beautiful our top is looking. So I'll just go over and put this on the mannequin for you to see. So if you find this video helpful, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye and see you in our next one.